her. I'm just so grateful that she's come on, and welcome to my new subscribers. Y'all, I'm so excited. I hit that 1K yesterday. And like I said, blessings in disguise. When I thought I was like getting put on the hot seat, here we are, getting to know each other and actually getting a good word of encouragement. So, Miss Shanae, I'm going to ask you about that mindset, because one thing I've realized is that the human mind is by nature, somebody would say evolution, I don't care what you believe, but by nature designed to preserve you. The human mind wants to keep you alive and keep your physical body, your systems working for as long as possible. We are, what should I say? I would call it divinely created to towards what's the word I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say like elongating your life. Yes, that's what your brain is trained to do. So your brain wants you to avoid danger, and your brain is good at memory. Well, if you don't have disease. So the two things your brain gonna do is try to remember what was dangerous, remember what hurt you, remember what caused pain. And the other thing it's gonna do is look around and say, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that." We try to preserve you for life, right? And those two things, the brain is an amazing computer, amazing instrument, something we can't even comprehend as human beings fully. But it is in that super function that it sometimes, inadvertently will keep us stagnant. As you said, will paralyze, just your words, will paralyze you from making no moves. And we have to recognize that's the brain's function. I heard it put to me one way that it is not, you are not the thought, you are having the thought. So it's going to help.
Ooh, I love that.
The thought is a passing, what should I say, creation of your brain.
Come on.
The thought is happening. Yes. It is passing, but it is not who you are. This is why meditation is important. This is why prayer is important.
Yes.
Sometimes when we get still, we hear all these things going, but we could calm them down and realize that I am not that thought.
That's right.
If I choose not to be.
Yeah.
We have to recognize that thought, and especially when it's in a negative sense, and if it is, and it's in that nature preserving you sense, you got to arrest that negative thought as soon as it happens in your brain. And recognize it for what it is. Look at it as a almost like an existential, like third person, like out of body. Yes. My thought is not me being. My thought is crossing my mind.
Right.
Is it telling me something? Is that the Holy Spirit? You got to figure out what your thoughts are doing. But you can't say I am that thought, because that fear, if you define yourself by that thought, baby, you will continue to be paralyzed. Absolutely. So you might have to look and observe that thought. Think about, what did I just think? How come I just think that? Okay, is that true? No, it's not true. Maybe I have to counter it. When we talk about affirmations, maybe I have to counter it with a positive thought. To say, no, I'm going to go out here, I'm legally blind, and there's going to be a big bad man in the grocery store. Or maybe I could just go to the grocery store and it'll be fine. And I'm going to get my groceries and I'm going to still be, vigilant. But I'm not going to rely on what I know is a faulty thought.
Right.
Because of my brain's wiring. Yes. And my brain is trying to preserve me for long life. Yes. And it's going to warn me and it's going to remember.
Yes.
So we got to get control. When you say bring every thought under dominion, I'm not going to preach today.
Woo!
But we have to exercise that kind of like awareness and an intelligence that understands we are not our thought. I'm going to leave you guys there. I'm not going to leave y'all, but no, Shanae, we got more to talk about. But I'm just saying, somebody going to get that.
Yeah.
When you're exercising, like a thought is happening, but it is not necessarily you. Absolutely. It is almost, how can I put it? Like a brain reflex is the best way I can put it. Warning you of danger and reminding you, oh, I learned that stove was hot, so I'm not going to touch it again. Right? But maybe that stove is off. Right? We might have to do a show specifically about that, changing one's thought lives, because it goes right here into the fear part. But sometimes I don't think people realize the brain as a it's not a muscle, but just as a reflex, how it's designed, how it's evolved. It's going to provide you with this kind of like protective thinking. That's how it, and we as Black folk even more, because now our parents and our grandparents, our great grandparents and our great great grandparents have drilled fear into us because of their experiences. That post-traumatic slavery syndrome. As some people was trying to say, we descendants of Africans from Jamaica, but I just got dropped off earlier than you.
Right.
But we have the same generational thinking too. That's put in, like it was meant to protect, but it is now like again keeping us hostage. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get in this. I'm gonna get in this. Let me get in these comments. I see you. Welcome, guys. We're getting really deep. Thank you, Simon Hectic in the building. Welcome, sir. Saying we are hardwired to, I would add, not only evolve, survive. The brain is trying to preserve us. So it is warning us. It's almost like, you chase the lion, or like we'll say, if you believe like in evolution, you used to be afraid of the lion because we were hunter gatherers living in villages. But in America, we're not chasing lions. So who are you afraid of? Your job now is the lion. So that overreaction of adrenaline and fear is no longer from the natural environment. Now the lion is your husband. Y'all don't want none of this today. Y'all don't want none of this. Fight or flight. Yes, Uncle Stu. What's up? Welcome, Cynthia. I see you. Thank you. Like watching TV. You must watch your mind and change it. Yes. Inundated with bad news every day. Who is my CNN, MSNBC? I don't even know. Maybe some Fox News junkies up here.
Right.
They say a day, I think it's like just below 1 million watch MSNBC. Fox has more than that, about 1 million viewers during prime time. And CNN is right below as well. So if you got 750,000 people on average on one of these channels, what is it telling you? What is it conditioning your brain to believe?
Fear.
Woo, Jesus. All right, let's keep it moving. Bind up those thoughts which go against the thoughts of God. It is written, yes, remember the thoughts I have for you. Thoughts to prosper you and to give you an expected end. That's a real word. So if any thought is not a good thought, it can't be from God.
Right.
It is passing. It has maybe been conditioned by the news. It has maybe been conditioned by our forefathers and our parents or whoever. It has maybe been conditioned under the circumstances that you grew up in. Maybe you weren't in the most healthy environment. So you have been conditioned to believe every man is bad or every woman is dead, whatever it is. But we have to be a neutral observer of our thoughts.
Yes.
Our thoughts are not us. We have to observe them. Should I keep going with your story about how you have maneuvered the thinking behind, fear in your life?
Well, as I've adjusted the way how I think, I've started to tell myself positive affirmations. So the moment I even hear from anyone the slightest, but you can't, or you're sure you should, I go completely against that, because I don't believe that there's anything that is within me that I can fathom or conjure up in this mind that I can't do. So the minute that I've even perceived it and thought it, I know I can do it. So that's something that I've started to tell myself. And I'm not, as I said before, I feel I do believe also that there is also a form of us where we pretend that we're fearless and we pretend like we don't battle with fear. Just as how sin, if for those who are Christians or God-fearing, is real to us, fear is also existing, right? So it's a battle every day. It's not like we get to this ultimate high where we will never fear anything again. No. There's things that you will constantly have to work on, constantly have to battle, just like your self-work. You constantly have to work on self. The minute you feel you've discovered yourself, you discover something else. You're like, wait, I got this to deal with. Yeah. So I constantly tell myself, girl, you've got this. Don't let no one tell you otherwise. You can do it. Who gonna stop you? Whatever it is that I got to tell myself, I tell myself that. So I adjust the way I think and perceive things. I tend to perceive things on a more optimistic viewpoint. I'm not a pessimist. So there's nothing I go after pessimistically. You can be cautious and aware of things, but still just do that which you desire to do after you've assessed, after you've seen it. You don't have to spend time making everything perfect, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. I want a podcast.